So I finally powered back my Cohesity lab, and so I'm going to do a couple more demos with it. Today I thought I would go over how to register an external target. In this case, we're going to register an NFS target. First, you want to go on your NFS storage and create your folder or whatever you want to use as far as the registration process. From the Cohesity side, click on Infrastructure, External Targets. And now we're going to register an external target. Click on Add External Target. In this case, we're going to select Archival. For storage type, we're going to scroll down to the bottom and select NAS. I'm going to use NFS version 3, but you can hit the drop down and have different versions depending on your environment. For me, the security type I'm going to set to System. And then you have your host and your mount path. Now we're going to give it a name, and this one is going to be for my weekly. I'll probably make another one for daily or monthly, depending, just because it's a lab environment. I'm going to leave this one for incremental forever. You have the ability to do incremental with periodic fulls, but I'm going to do the incremental forever, so I don't have to worry about that. As far as encryption, I'm going to leave encryption. I'm going to leave it as the internal KMS, meaning Cohesity is going to do the encrypting and decrypting. And you may or may not, for your environment, want to use managing that encryption key. So as far as the encryption process, there's one key used to do the encryption. There's another key that encrypts the encryption key. It's put in a Cohesity format, and so you have to have a Cohesity cluster to even find the keys. So depending on your security measures, you may or may not want to leave the key inside the bucket. I'm going to use compression, and then for my environment, I don't need to use bandwidth throttling, but just so you can see it, you have the ability to throttle by upload, download, different days of the week. You can have different schedules for each day, and so on and so forth. I'm going to leave that off, and then we're going to click Register. I made a correction on the server side, and so we'll see if that fixes it. I narrowed down the security to just allow the one IP address. It helps if you use the correct IP address. So now we have a target called weekly. And I'm going to go ahead and add a second target for daily. I'm going to go through the same process again. Give it the host IP. And I got to find their correct mount path. So in my case, it's going to be daily. So I'll just call this my NFS daily. Everything else the same, and hit register. And we're getting the same problem. Most likely it's due to the wrong IP again. Try it one more time. And that looks like it's good to go. So maybe I'll rename this one to NFS Weekly, just to keep my naming convention the same. So now that I have two NFS targets, what we need to do is update our protection policy. So we can create a new policy that adds these two targets, or one target for one policy, another one for a different policy. You can mix and match as you see fit. In my case, I'm just going to edit my existing policy. So we're going to go under Data Protection Policies. I'm going to select the one that I have 4 protection groups against. I'm going to hit the 3 dots and hit Edit. And at the bottom, I'm going to click on the Add Archive. Even though it's an NFS target, it's still considered an external archive. And so I'm going to have one for weekly, I'm going to have one for daily, and I'm just going to do it once a day. Maybe I want to retain it for a month. And I'm going to add a second one. And then we're going to add weekly, and I'll do that for every week, and we'll retain that, we'll say, for 2 months. So notice I am on the local cluster. I am logged in with the admin account. I do not have the ability to add data lock or anything right now. And so I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. We're going to save it to the existing policy, so everything that's attached will update and have the same NFS archives attached to it. So now we have the archive +1 because it's more than one. We have both options. And so if I pick a random one at here, I'll go ahead and do win file. I'll click on Run Now. And so it popped in both of them. I can decide if I didn't want it to go to either one. And so it's telling me how long for the Run Now, how long I want to keep it. I'm going to just go ahead and tell it yes. And let's let that kick off and see what we get. So as we see the local backup running, and then we also have the cloud archive, which we have both of them. Because it's the first one, it's going to run for both, or we did the Run Now that actually included both as well. So if I'm looking at it, it looks like we had a problem. If I click on here, both of them had the same problem. It doesn't matter, I can click on one. And so we're unable to get or create a cloud domain. Basically, it looks like we don't have right permissions, so we need to check the source side to make sure the account we are using actually has permissions to write into the NFS target. So I made a change on one of them. So if I wanted to, I could go to this run, I can hit the three dots and hit edit run. And now I can try to resync. So maybe I'll do it for both. I'm expecting the one to still fail. So this one is actually running where the other one that I didn't make the change to. So now I know I didn't have the right permissions. I'll go ahead and change that for the next run. So now this shows successful. We see that, it's under 200K. So again, not a lot of data here because I'm just testing it out. I have the ability to delete this archive snapshot. And as you saw, if you ever have a problem with something syncing, you can always hit the three dots on the run, edit the run, and tell it to resync. So this one has an error. I could still resync it once I fix the permission problem. And then from now on, everything will be fine. Just to follow up that the cloud archive has now completed, and I even kicked off another run for Active Directory. So if I browse into the directory, you'll see a couple folders here. You'll see one just called Cohesity with some information that looks like for the Active Directory backup. And then you see some other folders for Icebox data, metadata, Snaptree, and View Snaptree. So we'll have various files, but these are unique for Cohesity. Do not mess with them, do not delete them, just showing you that they're there because any type of archive, even if it was in Amazon or Azure, you'll have this folder structure set up as well. So I hope this was helpful and informative, and thanks for watching.